For the first time since October 2001, there are no American troops in Afghanistan. While defending his decision to pull back the forces, which led to the Taliban's quick takeover of Kabul on August 15, U.S. President Joe Biden said on August 31 that he was left with only two options after the withdrawal agreement the Trump administration signed with the Taliban in February 2020: either honor the deal or renege on it and send in more troops to continue the war. The question still remains if many countries across the world will recognize the Taliban government in Afghanistan and change the foreign policy accordingly. The chaotic Western withdrawal from Afghanistan is likely to be a catalyst for the European Union's attempts to develop its common defense, the EU's top diplomat said on September 2, saying a rapid reaction force must be part of that. Calls within the EU are growing for the bloc to be able to intervene militarily in a crisis without relying on US troops. Sometimes there are events that catalyze history, that create a breakthrough, and I think that Afghanistan is one of these cases, EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell said before the Slovenia gathering. Afghan taekwondo athlete Zakai Kudadati competed in the Paralympic Games on September 2, becoming the first female Afghan to do so since Athens 2004, after a secret international effort to help her get out of Taliban-controlled Afghanistan. The 22-year-old and her compatriot Hossein Rasouli arrived in Tokyo on August 28 for help to leave Kabul after the Taliban swept to power. British Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab will on September 2 visit Doha to discuss the situation in Afghanistan with Qatar's Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, Mr. Raab's office said. The prospects of getting Kabul airport up and running and safe passage for foreign nationals and Afghans across land borders are top of the agenda, the Foreign Office said in a statement. Mr. Raab will also meet his Qatari counterpart and the British embassy to Afghanistan, which has temporarily relocated to Qatar, his office said. Afghanistan's Taliban rulers were preparing on September 2 to unveil their new government as the economy teetered on the edge of collapse more than 2 weeks after the Islamist militia captured Kabul and brought a chaotic end to 20 years of war. Taliban official Ahmadullah Mataki said on social media a ceremony was being prepared at the presidential palace in Kabul, while private broadcaster Tolo said an announcement on a new government was imminent. August 30 night were the 5 last C-17s to leave the country after a chaotic and deadly airlift evacuation that marked the end of America's involvement in the Afghanistan war. It just looked apocalyptic, said Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Braden Coleman, who was in charge of monitoring the outside of his aircraft for artillery fire and other threats. It looked like one of those zombie movies where all the airplanes had been destroyed, their doors were open, the wheels were broken. There was a plane that was burned all the way. You could see the cockpit was there, and the whole rest of the plane looked like the skeleton of a fish. It was just definitely very tense, and we were definitely all on edge watching everything going on to make sure that we were ready, said Air Force Captain Kirby Wheaton, pilot of MOOSE-81, who led the final formation of 5 aircraft out. The United Nations food stockpiles in Afghanistan could run out this month and there is a critical need for $200 million to provide food to the most vulnerable, a senior UN official has warned. Deputy Special Representative and Humanitarian Coordinator in Afghanistan Ramaz Al-Akbarov said that at least 1/3 of the conflict-torn country's population currently is not sure that they will have a meal every day or not. This is what is going on. By the end of September, the stocks which the World Food Programme has in the country will be out. We will be out of stock. We will not be able to provide those essential food items because we'll be out of stock, Al-Akbarov told reporters during a virtual press briefing from Kabul on September 1.